Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about the 2020 presidential election. If with the Electoral College we were to have a proportional voting system in every single state. So for example, let's take the state of California. If Joe Biden were to win, let's say 78% of the vote, instead of winning all 55 of California's electoral votes, he would win his proportional 43 electoral votes. And if Donald Trump were to get the rest of the votes, he would win 12 electoral votes. So instead of Joe Biden winning all 55, Donald Trump would win some electoral votes for his share of the vote in the state of California. And so today I'll just be looking at the 2020 election map if this type of voting occurred. I think this just makes it much more fair because if you lose, you can lose a state by 1% by like one vote. So let's say Joe Biden wins the state of California by one vote, he would win all 55. So if he would win by one vote, then it would basically be a 50-50 tie in the state of California, and I think that would be much more fair. So that's why today I'm going to be looking at the election if voting was more fair in each of these states. So first, I will just be going over all of these states in alphabetical order. I think that is the best way to do it, as there's really no other way. So let's start off with the state of Alabama. I think Alabama, 66%. And then 3 for Joe Biden. So basically, I will have to round because each candidate does need to have a whole number of votes. So I will be rounding in this video. So 6 electoral votes for Donald Trump and 3 for Joe Biden out of the state of Alabama. Next is the state of Alaska. I think Donald Trump will win 2 of its electoral votes, and then Joe Biden will win the other 1. Next, the state of Arizona, I think it will be very close. Basically a tie. I think that Joe Biden will win a little more than Donald Trump. So 6 for Biden and 5 for Trump out of the state of Arizona. Next is the state of Arkansas, and the state of Arkansas I think will be pretty close. I think Donald Trump will be able to edge out Joe Biden. But I do think that they will all win 3 electoral votes out of the state of Arkansas just because of how close I think they will both be to 50%. Next is the state of California, 55 electoral votes, the biggest prize on this map. Joe Biden, I think, will win 65% of the vote, with Donald Trump winning the other 35. So 36 electoral votes for Joe Biden and 19 for Donald Trump out of the state of California. Next is the state of Colorado. Out of the state of Colorado, this is becoming more and more liberal. So I think Joe Biden will win around, Joe Biden winning around 60% of the vote. So I would just give him 55 and then 4 for Donald Trump. Next, out of the state of Connecticut, in the state of Connecticut, I have Joe Biden winning the state by around 60%. So this is as close as we can get. So 4 electoral votes for Joe Biden and then 3 for Donald Trump out of the state of Connecticut. The state of Delaware, this is Joe Biden's home state. He served as a senator here for over 30 years. I think 60% for Joe Biden and then 30% for Donald Trump. So 2 for Biden and 1 for Trump out of the state of Delaware. Next is the state of, not the state, the District of Columbia. Joe Biden, this is the most liberal district in the entire country, or liberal area. So I think Joe Biden really will win all 3 of Washington, D.C.'s electoral votes. Next is the state of Florida. In the state of Florida, I think it'll be very close. I think that Joe Biden will be able to edge out Donald Trump by a little bit, 51% for Joe Biden, and then 48% for Donald Trump. So 15 electoral votes for Biden and 14 for Trump out of the state of Florida. Next is the state of Georgia. In the state of Georgia, I think Georgia will also be very close. I honestly think it will be a tie in terms of the electoral votes from the state of Georgia. So 8 for Trump and 8 for Biden. Next is the state of Hawaii. This is a pretty liberal state. In the state of Hawaii, I have Joe Biden winning here with around 75%, and then Donald Trump with the other 25%. Next, the state of Idaho. In the state of Idaho, I think Donald Trump will win 3, and then Joe Biden will win 1 of Idaho's 4 electoral votes. After Idaho is the state of Illinois. In the state of Illinois, this is Barack Obama's home state. Pretty liberal, pretty safe for the Democrats. So 12 for Biden and 8 for Trump. Next is the state of Indiana. In the state of Indiana, I have Donald Trump winning around 55% of the vote, and then Joe Biden with the rest. So 6 for Trump and 5 for Biden. So as you can see here, this is a much more fair system in my opinion. Because you can see, Donald Trump has only won 4 states, 4 pretty small states. And Joe Biden Joe Biden won the state of California. So with just California, if we were voting like before, with the winner takes all, Joe Biden would have 55 electoral votes just from the state of California, and he would already be beating, Donald Trump with all three of these states that he has won. I mean, four of these states that he has won. So I think that this proportional system is much more fair to candidates, who are losing states by very small margins, and winning others by a lot. So next is the state of Iowa. I think Iowa will honestly be a tie in terms of electoral votes. So 3 for Biden and 3 for Trump. Next is the state of Kansas. Kansas, I think, will be closer than it was in 2016, but I do think that the Republicans will still be able to carry it. 4 for Donald Trump and 2 for Joe Biden. Next is the state of Kentucky. I think Kentucky will vote pretty similarly to the state of Kansas, so 62 for Trump and 37% for Joe Biden. So 5 electoral votes to the president and 3 to the former vice president out of the state of Kentucky. Next is the state of Louisiana. I think will be basically a 60-40 here, so let's get as close to that as possible. 62% for Donald Trump and 37% for Joe Biden out of the state of Louisiana. Next is the state of Maine, so there will not be, that sort of voting by congressional district out of the state of Maine. It'll basically be just one vote, so I think Joe Biden will win 3, and Donald Trump will win 1 of Maine's 4 electoral votes. Next is the state of Maryland. In the state of Maryland, a pretty liberal state, I have Joe Biden winning around 60% to Donald Trump's 40%. So 6 for Biden and 4 for Trump out of Maryland. Next is the state of Massachusetts, the most liberal state in the country. So I have around 70% for Joe Biden and then around 27% for Donald Trump. So 8 and 3 out of the state of Massachusetts. Next is the state of Michigan. This is a state that Trump won by less than 1%. I think that Joe Biden will actually win this state in 2020. So I think 9 electoral votes for Joe Biden and then 7 for Donald Trump out of the crucial state of Michigan. However, in this map, there really are no, real crucial states. I think Joe Biden and Donald Trump will just both have to do as well as they can in every single state because it's more proportional. It's not winner takes all. So, if Joe Biden and Donald Trump were to tie in the state of Michigan, really wouldn't matter like it does, in the real election because, Joe Biden will win all 16. However, basically now it's just 9-7. So that really, makes it much more fair for Donald Trump. Next is the state of, after Michigan, is Minnesota. And the state of Minnesota, I have Joe Biden winning this state around 6 out of 10, and Donald Trump with the remaining 4 electoral votes from the state of Minnesota. Next is the state of Mississippi. I have Donald Trump winning the state of Mississippi. Let's just give him 4. And then Joe Biden with 2 out of Mississippi's 6 electoral votes. Next is the state of Missouri. In the state of Missouri, I have 52 percent for Donald Trump, so I'll give him 60. I think he will carry most of the electoral votes from the state of Missouri. So 6 for Trump and 4 for Biden. After that, I have the state of Montana. I think Montana will go to Trump. I think he'll win 2, and then Joe Biden will win the remaining 1 out of Montana's 3 electoral votes. Next is the state of Nebraska. Like Maine, there will be no proportional voting system. I think Donald Trump, 3 electoral votes, and then Joe Biden with 2 out of the state of Nebraska. Next is the state of Nevada. I think Joe Biden will definitely win here. I think he'll win 4, and then Donald Trump will win 2 out of the state of Nebraska. After Nevada is the state of New Hampshire. Sorry about that. I think Donald Trump will win 1, and then Joe Biden will win the remaining 3 out of the state of New Hampshire. Next is the state of New Jersey, another pretty liberal state. I think around 60% for Biden, and then 35% for Donald Trump. Next is the state of New Mexico. New Mexico, I have Joe Biden winning 3, and Donald Trump winning 2 out of the state of New Mexico. Next is the state of New York, 29 electoral votes, the 3rd largest state. I have Joe Biden out of the state of New York winning 53%. So let's get as close to that as possible. I'll give him 55. I think he will outperform a little bit in the state of New York. It's typically very liberal, and then 44% for Donald Trump out of the state of New York. Next is the state of North Carolina. I think North Carolina will be one of the closest states in this election. However, I do think that Joe Biden will be able to narrowly edge out the president and win 8 electoral votes out of North Carolina's 15, with Trump carrying the other 7. Next, the state of North Dakota. Definitely going for Trump, 2 for Trump and 1 for Biden. After the state of North Carolina is the state of Ohio. Like Iowa, I think this will be one of the closest states. Honestly, in terms of, proportional electoral votes, I think it will be 9 each. I think it will be a tie in the state of Ohio. Next, the state of Oklahoma. I think Trump will definitely carry this state. I think he'll win, 4 electoral votes for Donald Trump and 3 for Joe Biden. After the state of Oklahoma is the state of Oregon, a pretty liberal state, tends to always vote for the Democrats. I think 57% for Biden, and then 42% for Donald Trump. Next, the state of Pennsylvania. This is Joe Biden's birth state. He was born in the state of Pennsylvania. Out of the state of Pennsylvania, I have Joe Biden narrowly winning the state, 55%, to Donald Trump's 45% in the state of Pennsylvania. Next is the state of Rhode Island. In the state of Rhode Island, I have Joe Biden winning 3, and then Donald Trump winning 1 out of Rhode Island's 4 electoral votes. Next is the state of South Carolina. I think 54% will go to Donald Trump, so let's give him 55%, and then the rest will go to Joe Biden. Next, out of the state of South Dakota, this is a pretty conservative state. I think 2 for Donald Trump definitely, and then 1 for Joe Biden. Next, you see Tennessee, 11 electoral votes. Tennessee, I think, will be pretty closer than it was in 2016. However, Trump will definitely be able to carry it. 6 electoral votes for Trump and 5 for Joe Biden out of the state of Tennessee. Next is the state of Texas. This is the second largest state and pretty crucial state. Typically, Texas would be a very important state, especially in 2020, as I could see both candidates carrying the state and all 38 of its electoral votes. However, with this example, I think it will definitely be a tie in the state of Texas, so 19 electoral votes each, so it will stay gray. The state of Utah, I think around 55% for Donald Trump, so I'll give him 4, and then 2 electoral votes for Joe Biden. Next, out of the state of Vermont, pretty liberal state, I think Joe Biden will win 2, and then Donald Trump will win the remaining 1 electoral vote from the state of Vermont. Next is the state of Virginia. I think he will have a pretty comfortable victory, the vice president. I think around 60% for the electoral votes for Joe Biden, and the other 5 for Donald Trump. Next is the state of Washington. In the state of Washington, I think around 60% for Joe Biden and 40% for Donald Trump is fair. So 7 for Biden and 5 for Trump out of Washington's 12 electoral votes. Next is the state of West Virginia. In the state of West Virginia, I have around 70% for Donald Trump. This is a very liberal state, so I would just give him 80% because of how, not liberal. This is a very conservative state, and just because of how Republican it is, I will give Donald Trump 4 out of its 5 electoral votes, and then 1 for Joe Biden. Next, we have the state of Wisconsin. In the state of Wisconsin, this is a pretty close state. I think it'll be pretty close in 2020. So 5 electoral votes each. To be honest, I think it will be a tie in the state of Wisconsin in terms of electoral votes in a proportional system. Lastly, we have the state of Wyoming. This is the most conservative state in the entire country, voted for Trump by the largest margin. So honestly, I think Donald Trump will win all 100% of Wyoming's 3 electoral votes. So after this, I have Joe Biden winning 287 electoral votes compared to Donald Trump's 251. If Joe Biden were to win under this proportional system. So Joe Biden is expected to win the 2020 presidential election with 287 electoral votes, becoming the 46th president of the United States. If we're looking at this map, this is much more fair for Donald Trump, because if Joe Biden were really to win all of these states, he would win over 330 electoral votes. So, this map, I think, is a much more fair map and a much more telling map of how the electorate really is in the United States. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like as well as subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate that, and I will see you in the next video.